Hello friends, today we will discuss about functions of plasma proteins. Starting with first, plasma proteins, they have an important role in maintenance of osmotic pressure. Now, what is osmotic pressure? It is the pressure exerted by crystalloids and colloids. Crystalloids, they are urea, sodium, glucose, etc. Capillary membrane is permeable to crystalloids and therefore crystalloids, they contribute less to capillary osmotic pressure. Now, osmotic pressure exerted by colloids, mainly by the plasma proteins, and that is about 28 mm of mercury, from which 19 mm of mercury is due to molecular effect of dissolved proteins and 9 mm of mercury is by Donan effect, that is extra osmotic pressure caused by sodium, potassium and other cations held in the plasma by the proteins. Colloid osmotic pressure is inversely proportionate to the molecular size and shape, and it is directly related to concentration of the molecules, and therefore 80% of colloid osmotic pressure is due to albumin because they have least molecular weight and maximum concentration, and 20% of colloid osmotic pressure is due to globulin. You can see here. What is the importance of osmotic pressure? As we all know, Starling's hypothesis, that is net filtration through capillary membrane, is proportional to hydrostatic pressure difference across the membrane and oncotic or colloid osmotic pressure difference. You can see here, this is the net filtration pressure which depends on capillary hydrostatic pressure, capillary or plasma colloid osmotic pressure, as well as interstitial fluid hydrostatic pressure and interstitial fluid colloid osmotic pressure. Applied aspect. In case of hypoproteinemia, colloid osmotic pressure decreases and therefore filtration at arterial end is increased as compared to absorption at the venous end, and that results in edema. Also, another applied is whenever there is increased capillary permeability, plasma proteins are escaped from the capillary wall and that results in edema. So, this is the first function, maintenance of colloid osmotic pressure. Second function of plasma protein, that is role in the viscosity of blood. Viscosity of blood depends on the size and shape of the protein molecules and less on the number. And plasma proteins, mainly fibrinogen and globulin, they play an important role in the viscosity of blood. Third function, that is role in the blood coagulation. During blood coagulation, fibrinogen, which is a plasma protein, is converted into the fibrin, which forms fibrin meshwork. Fourth function, that is role in the defense mechanism, that is by gamma globulins, which are also known as immunoglobulins, and as we all know, there are 5 types of immunoglobulins: IgG, IgE, IgD, IgM and IgA. Also, they have an important role in the regulation of acid-base balance. Plasma proteins, they act as buffers and maintain blood pH. Plasma proteins contributes for about 15% of the buffering capacity of the blood, that is about 1/6. Plasma proteins, they are amphoteric in nature. In acidic pH, NH2 group of the plasma protein acts as a base and accepts proton and it is converted into NH3. Whereas in alkaline pH, COOH group acts as an acid and can donate protons and they become COO-. Whereas in the neutral pH, they combine with sodium. Next function, that is role in the ESR, that is erythrocyte sedimentation rate. For erythrocyte sedimentation, or you can say roller formation, plasma proteins, mainly globulin and fibrinogens, they are important. They increase tendency of roller formation. Seventh function, that is role in the suspension stability of RBC. For that also globulin and fibrinogen, they are required. If blood loses its suspension stability, it leads to roller formation in circulation, that is piling of the RBCs takes place, and that is prevented by globulin and fibrinogen in the circulation. Plasma proteins also play an important role in the transport mechanism. Carbon dioxide is transported in carbamino compound. Thyroxine is transported in bound form with the plasma protein, that is thyroxine binding protein. Cortisol is transported in the bound form with the plasma protein transcortine. Vitamin A, D and E, they bind with HDL and LDL. Vitamin B12 binds with transcobalamin, that is also plasma protein. Bilirubin binds with albumin and globulin. Drugs, they bind with albumin. Calcium also transported in the bound form. Copper binds with ceruloplasmin, that is plasma protein. Free hemoglobin binds with haptoglobulin, and iron binds with the transferrin. Plasma proteins also play an important role in the production of tryptophan or chorale substances. These substances are important for the nutrition of the tissue cells, and these substances are produced by leukocytes from plasma proteins. They also play an important role in the reserve proteins. Amino acids of the plasma proteins, they are used to form new proteins, and they are utilized in the conditions like fasting, inadequate food or protein intake, excessive catabolism of body proteins. They also play an important role in the fibrinolytic mechanism. For fibrinolytic mechanism to get activated, profibrinolysin, that is the inactive form of plasma protein, which gets activated, and it causes lysis of the fibrin clot that is formed during blood coagulation. So this is all about functions of plasma proteins. Let us revise. First function, that is role in the maintenance of osmotic pressure. Second function, role in the viscosity of blood. Third, role in the blood coagulation. Fourth, role in the defense mechanism of body. Fifth, role in regulation of acid-base balance. Sixth, role in ESR. Seventh, role in suspension stability of RBCs. 8, role in transport mechanisms. 9, role in production of tryptophan or chorale substances. 10, role in reserve proteins, and 11, fibrinolytic mechanism.